Chapter 1. Key Terms. 1. Abstract. Opening section of a scientific paper that summarizes the research and conclusions. 2. Applied science. Form of science that aims to solve real-world problems. 3. Atom. Smallest and most fundamental unit of matter. 4. Basic science. Science that seeks to expand knowledge and understanding regardless of the short-term application of that knowledge. 5. Biochemistry. Study of the chemistry of biological organisms. 6. Biology. The study of living organisms and their interactions with one another and their environments. 7. Biosphere. Collection of all the ecosystems on Earth. 8. Botany. Study of plants. 9. Cell. Smallest fundamental unit of structure and function in living things. 10. Community. Set of populations inhabiting a particular area. 11. Conclusion. Section of a scientific paper that summarizes the importance of the experimental findings. 12. Control. Part of an experiment that does not change during the experiment. 13. Deductive reasoning. Form of logical thinking that uses a general inclusive statement to forecast specific results. 14. Descriptive science, also, discovery science. Form of science that aims to observe, explore, and investigate. 15. Discussion. Section of a scientific paper in which the author interprets experimental results, describes how variables may be related, and attempts to explain the phenomenon in question. 16. Ecosystem. All the living things in a particular area together with the abiotic, non-living parts of that environment. 17. Eukaryote. Organism with cells that have nuclei and membrane-bound organelles. 18. Evolution. Process of gradual change during which new species arise from older species and some species become extinct. 19. Falsifiable. Able to be disproven by experimental results. 20. Homeostasis. Ability of an organism to maintain constant internal conditions. 21. Hypothesis. Suggested explanation for an observation, which can be tested. 22. Hypothesis-based science. Form of science that begins with a specific question and potential testable answers. 23. Inductive reasoning. Form of logical thinking that uses related observations to arrive at a general conclusion. 24. Introduction. Opening section of a scientific paper, which provides background information about what was known in the field prior to the research reported in the paper. 25. Life science. Field of science, such as biology, that studies living things. 26. Macromolecule. Large molecule, typically formed by the joining of smaller molecules. 27. Materials and methods. Section of a scientific paper that includes a complete description of the substances, methods, and techniques used by the researchers to gather data. 28. Microbiology. Study of the structure and function of microorganisms. 29. Molecular biology. Study of biological processes and their regulation at the molecular level, including interactions among molecules such as DNA, RNA, and proteins. 30. Molecule. Chemical structure consisting of at least two atoms held together by one or more chemical bonds. 31. Natural science. Field of science that is related to the physical world and its phenomena and processes. 32. Neurobiology. Study of the biology of the nervous system. 33. Organ. Collection of related tissues grouped together performing a common function. 34. Organ system. Level of organization that consists of functionally related interacting organs. 35. Organelle. Small structures that exist within cells and carry out cellular functions. 36. Organism. Individual living entity. 37. Paleontology. Study of life's history by means of fossils. 38. Peer-reviewed manuscript. Scientific paper that is reviewed by a scientist's colleagues who are experts in the field of study. 39. Phylogenetic tree. Diagram showing the evolutionary relationships among various biological species based on similarities and differences in genetic or physical traits or both, in essence, a hypothesis concerning evolutionary connections. 40. Physical science. Field of science, such as geology, astronomy, physics, and chemistry, that studies non-living matter. 41. Plagiarism. Using other people's work or ideas without proper citation, creating the false impression that those are the author's original ideas. 42. Population. All of the individuals of a species living within a specific area. 43. Prokaryote. Single-celled organism that lacks organelles and does not have nuclei surrounded by a nuclear membrane. 44. Results. Section of a scientific paper in which the author narrates the experimental findings and presents relevant figures, pictures, diagrams, graphs, and tables, without any further interpretation. 45. Review article. Paper that summarizes and comments on findings that were published as primary literature. 46. Science. Knowledge that covers general truths or the operation of general laws, especially when acquired and tested by the scientific method. 47. Scientific method. Method of research with defined steps that include observation, formulation of a hypothesis, testing, and confirming or falsifying the hypothesis. 48. Serendipity. Fortunate accident or a lucky surprise. 49. Theory. Tested and confirmed explanation for observations or phenomena. 50. Tissue. Group of similar cells carrying out related functions. 51. Variable. Part of an experiment that the experimenter can vary or change. 52. Zoology. Study of animals.